All right, let's continue on. The Passion according to G.H. Our hands that are coarse and full of words. Bear with my telling you that God is not pretty, and that because he is neither a result nor a conclusion, and everything we find pretty is sometimes only because it is already concluded. But what is ugly today shall be seen centuries from now as beauty, because it shall have completed one of its movements. I no longer want the completed movement that never is really complete, and we are the ones who complete it out of desire. I no longer want to delight in the easiness of liking a thing only because being apparently completed it no longer scares me and therefore is falsely mine. I devour that I was of beauties. I do not want beauty, I want identity. Beauty would be an accretion, and now I shall have to dispense with it. The world does not have the intention of beauty, and that once would have shocked me. In the world no aesthetic plane exists, not even the aesthetic plane of goodness, and that once would have shocked me. The thing is much more than that God is greater than goodness with its beauty. Bidding farewell to all that means such great disappointment. But it is in disappointment that the promise is fulfilled. Through disappointment, through pain, the promise is fulfilled. And that is why one must go through hell first until one sees that there is a much deeper manner of loving, and that manner relinquishes the accretion of beauty. God is whatever exists, and all the contradictions are within the God, and therefore do not contradict him. Everything in me is aching as I let go of what to me was the world. Letting go is such a harsh and aggressive gesture that the person who opens her mouth to speak of letting go should be imprisoned and kept incommunicado. I myself prefer to consider that I have temporarily taken leave of my senses, rather than having the courage to think that all of this is a truth. Give me your hand, don't abandon me. I swear I didn't want it either. I too lived well. I was a woman of whom you could say life and loves of GH. I cannot put it into words what the system was, but I lived inside a system. It was as if I had organized myself inside the fact of having a stomachache, because if I no longer had it, I would also lose the marvelous hope of freeing myself one day from the stomachache. My whole life was necessary to me because it was exactly its badness that made me delight in imagining a hope that without that life I led, I would not have known. And now I am risking an entire suitable hope in favor of a reality so much greater that I cover my eyes with my arm in order not to have to face up to a hope that is fulfilled so now. And even before I die, I too sear myself in this discovery that a morality exists in which beauty is of a great fearful superficiality. Now whatever is luring me and calling me is the neutral. I have no words to express and speak therefore of the neutral. I only have that ecstasy, which also is no longer what we call ecstasy, since it is not a peak. But that ecstasy without a peak expresses the neutral of which I speak. Speaking to me and to you is being mute. Speaking to the God is the mutest that exists. Speaking to things is mute. I know this sounds sad to you and to me too, since I am still addicted to the condiment of the word. And that is why muteness hurts me like a dismissal. But I know that I must dismiss myself. Contact with the thing has to be a murmur, and to speak with the God I must gather disconnected syllables. My neediness came from having lost the inhumane side. I was banished from paradise when I became human, and the true prayer is the mute inhuman oratorio. No, I don't have to rise through prayer. I must, engorged, become a vibrating nothing. What I say to God must not make sense. If it makes sense, it is because I err. And don't misunderstand me. I am not taking anything from you. What I am doing is requiring of you. I know it seems I am taking away your and my humanity, but it's the opposite. What I am wanting is to live from that initial and primordial thing that was exactly what made certain things reach the point of aspiring to be human. I am wanting for me to live from the most difficult human part, for me to live from the seed of neutral love, since it was from that source that there began to rise something that later was distorting itself in sentimentations until the nucleus was suffocated by the accretion of richness and crushed in ourselves by the human hoof. I am demanding of myself a much greater love. It is a life so much greater that it does not even have beauty. I'm having that hard courage that hurts me like the flesh that transforms itself in childbirth. But no, I still haven't told everything. Not that what I'm going to tell now is all that's missing. Much more is missing in the story of mine to myself. Father and mother, for example, are missing. I have not yet had the courage to honor them. So many humiliations I went through are missing, in which I omit because only they who are not humbled are humiliated. And instead of humiliation, I should speak about my lack of humility. And humility is much more than a feeling. It is reality seen with the minimum of good sense. A lot of what I could tell is missing, but there was something that will be indispensable to say. I know one thing, if I reach the end of this story, I shall go, not tomorrow, but this very day, out to eat and dance at the top Bambino. I furiously need to have some fun and diverge myself. Yes, I'll definitely wear my new blue dress that flatters me and gives me color. I'll call Carlos, Josefina, Antonio. I don't really remember which of the two of them I noticed wanted me or if both of them wanted me. I'll eat crevettes, a la whatever, and I know because I'll eat crevettes. Tonight will be my normal life resumed, the life of my common joy. For the rest of my days, I'll need my light, sweet, and good-humored vulgarity. I'll need to forget like everyone, because I haven't told everything. Oh, is she finally gonna say what the fuck is going on here? Peace, y'all.